Today we're preparing for and giving some thoughts on the upcoming character Chasca. From the special program they showed earlier, she does look super cool, and there has since been a lot more information we can talk about regarding her, so we'll be jumping into that. But first, let's prepare for her. These are the materials needed to max her. Unfortunately, the Withering Purple Bloom and the Ensnaring Gaze, so the plant and boss materials, are locked behind the new area, so there's nothing we can do about that. Even so, there's lots of other stuff we can prepare for. Mora, 420k, we got that. Next, let's make sure we have all of these stones. Since we only need to keep one of the lowest grade of these stones, we can just make all of them. We need to keep 9 of the second grade, so we just go back 3 there, and also 9 purples, but I know we only need 6 gold, so we're just gonna make the 6 golds and we still have plenty of purples. So there we go, that's done. These final 3 materials are used in talents as well, and of course, the amount we need depends on which talents are important to raise. Scalings and multipliers apparently are not officially released at the time of recording, but after reading her kit, I would assume her normal attack is not important to raise. I am pretty confident in saying most of her damage is going to come from her elemental skill via either multi-target fire or Shadow Hunt shells. Even though the damage is considered normal attack damage or charge attack damage, the multipliers themselves are usually attached to the names here. So charged attack buffs like you would get from the Wanderer set, for example, would increase the damage, but raising the normal attack skill and thus the charged attack multiplier won't. But it's hard to say for 100% certainty without actually seeing the multipliers on everything. The burst I feel like will be important as well, but it definitely feels like the elemental skill is the core of her kit, as it is with basically all Natlan characters so far. This is what we would need to max a talent, but we're not going to focus on that for now. For first showcases, I like to get the important talents to 8, which with my understanding is the skill and burst. So I changed some numbers around. This is essentially what you would need for level 90 and 2 level 8 talents. A lot of characters have 1 skill you don't need to raise, so I think this little image can be applied to a lot. So take a screenshot if you want to save it for later. Obviously, you'd have to switch the actual materials around, but the numbers themselves always stay the same. We can also use this as a little checklist. We're going to make some X's because we can't even get those right now, but we have already gotten the chunks, so we can make some check marks there, and we have plenty of Mora. Let's go ahead and check out the fangs. I just looked and I'm praying I haven't purchased them from here yet. Okay, I think we didn't, thank God. We don't have very many. We need to keep 30 of the smallest grade, which just means crafting all but 10. Got 4 bonus, thanks Sucrose. So we still have enough for the smallest grade, which is good. If my math is right, we can only make 15 blues because we need to hold on to 74 greens. Yes, thank God. We got 3 bonus there, and we have 38 blues now, not too far off the 56 we need. So we're just gonna start with the adventure handbook and see if that's enough. We will of course take any out on our way as well. I never have enough of these common materials. And that's all the adventure handbook showed me, so let's see if that's enough. We got a few raw blues, so we only need 14 now. Let's start with making 12 and hope Sucrose gives us a couple bonus. No bonus, really. Okay, let's just make the other 2. Now we have all 56 we need. Let's make some more greens, keeping at least 30 of those smallest grade. And I think we're good now. 32, 78, 56, 30, 74, 56. There we go. For basic preparation, it's just the books left. And we need these, the conflict books. I dropped like 10 condensed resin yesterday while they were open, because they're not gonna be open again until after she's released. I'll spare you most of that footage, but I do want to note we did get very lucky. There was a purple on nearly every run. I'm probably doing a little montage here. I really don't like the enemies here because they're always going underground, but there was a couple of really good runs where they both came up at the same time to get one-shotted by Kenichi's E, so that was pretty nice. Anyway, we only got to hold on to 6 of the smallest grade here, so I'm just gonna make those 20 blues. And since we dropped so many raw purples, we actually have 17, which means we only need to craft 3. Besides having way too many of the blue books, I think we're good. 6, 92, 20, and we only needed 6, 42, 20. Finally, 4 of the silken feathers from the Arlecchino weekly boss, which, I mean, we have 16, so there's not much to do there. So we've prepared everything we possibly can for basic Ascension. If we wanted to, we could already start thinking about, you know, free-to-play weapons and artifact sets and everything, but I usually save that for raising mode. I will say though, since she's a Natlan character and can use Obsidian Codex, this is probably going to be the go-to set, though she is also Animo, so I'm not going to completely write off everything else like Viridescent. But after looking at her kit, she does seem much closer to someone like Wanderer than Kazuha. That is to say, more of a DPS than a Viridescent support. But yeah, I do want to give a couple thoughts. So when you do a charge attack after E, you know, in the Night Soul mode, you will load up these bullets, and depending on the elements in your team, they will be different element bullets. I'm pretty sure this makes her the first unit that can actually and directly fire attacks that are of a different element than she is. And one interesting about that is up here it says the shells loaded into the cylinder are fired starting from the last Shadow Hunt shell to be loaded in a last in first out order. I'm not sure right now if there's a way to manipulate manipulate which bullets go where, because it does say when you have one of the 4 main elements in your team, one of these normal Shadow Hunt shells will be converted to a shining Shadow Hunt shell from a randomly selected one of the corresponding elemental types. I guess this would mainly matter if you're trying to swirl something in particular. Something is a bit confusing though, because it does say the 4th, 5th, and 6th shells will undergo elemental conversion. But here in this clip, you can see the 3rd one is Electro. Oh, okay, I should have read the first passive first. If you have enough of the main elements in your team, there's an up to 100% chance to also make the 3rd Shadow Hunt shell a shining Shadow Hunt shell, so have its element converted as well. The converted shells will also have their damage increased by up to 65% if you have enough of the, different elements in your team. Her burst to me feels like just a really quick E, basically just randomly dealing the elements in your team to the enemy there. And then her second passive, as usual, relies on Night Soul bursts. In a nutshell, it's an extra attack when a Night Soul burst happens. Again, one of the most interesting things with her is her exploration potential, especially because, at least while you're in Natlin, I really hope they're going to expand that, like at least the swap mechanics, because while you're just gliding with someone else, you can swap to her and just start flying. Like, that's amazing, but it only works in Natlin, which is such a shame. But yeah, we've prepared pretty much as we can, so that'll do it for the video. Let me know what you think about her in the comments down below. I assume most people have their opinions and if they're going to skip or pull for her. I'm not a super good guiding light on that, at least for now, because I just pull for everyone anyway. But yeah, let me know what you think. Dropping a like or subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.